Well, today we've got the big hitters in town. We've got the Deputy Premier and, of course, Treasurer, Mr. Foley. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you, Anthony. Can I say from the outset, before anyone raises any potential conflict of interest issues, TOOP+TOOP manage two of my investment properties here in Adelaide. So whilst I'll be here talking about land tax and about all of the issues that confront the property investment market, I am a property investor and TOOP+TOOP. No special discounts, no mates rates, but they are my land agents that look after my property, just in case. I think it's important I put that on the record.
Kevin, the 30-year plan for the Greater Adelaide.
Yep. Talk
to me about it.
Look, it's a good plan, and what we're saying in that plan is we can't afford our city to go another 100 kilometres north and south. There will have to be expansion on the fringes, absolutely. But the great opportunity going forward will be what we call urban consolidation. That will be embracing apartment living or villa living or courtyard home living as against a quarter-acre block. We're electrifying all existing corridors, so you'll have faster, more rapid, more pleasant experiences using public transport coming into the city or going out from the inner city areas, and around those transport corridors we can build almost cities within cities. If you're a young couple, a retiring couple, kids have left home but you're still working, do you need to have the large house and property that you once had before? Could you embrace a more urban environment where you have your restaurants, cafes, pubs, libraries, recreational facilities embraced around some form of apartment living?
Do you have the same vision as Isabel expressed to us in her interview with regards to the Torrens and creating a magnificent water environment through the middle of the city?
Well, we have one now. It is not without a need for improvement. What we've said is that we don't want to turn the west end of Adelaide into some sort of Las Vegas on the Torrens. But that doesn't by any stretch mean that we shouldn't have quality development within approved and appropriate precincts within the city. We want the west end of the city to be a brand new Royal Adelaide Hospital built on a greenfield site. As for apartments, casinos or hotels along the banks of the Torrens, we don't support that. I mean, we're not of the view that Adelaide needs to mortgage its riverfront for tall, glitzy, inappropriate development.
Will the Adelaide Oval ever actually happen?
Oh, I'm massively confident. An enormous amount of work has been undertaken already to date, but it's a sensible thing to do. You need you need a city stadium. We now accept that, having been previously less than enthusiastic. But I can say as a treasurer, Adelaide Oval could be upgraded for less than $500 million. A brand new covered stadium, if there was a site available, will cost at least $800 million. The Liberals have not included car parking in their costing, so you add another 200, 300 or 400 depending on the size of the car park. We're talking about a project at least twice, if not 2/3, 3 times I should say, more expensive than Adelaide Oval. And if you think about Adelaide Oval, cricket played there a minimal number of days a year, perfect venue, perfectly located, connected by a footbridge, connected into the city by road bridges, fantastic.
The Gerard site, and of course the Cheltenham Racecourse.
Yep.
What's the latest?
One of the things that I've always found bizarre about Cheltenham Racecourse debate is it's never been a piece of open space. It has been a racecourse surrounded by a wire fence with barbed wire on the top keeping people out. You couldn't kick a footy, throw a frisbee, have a barbecue. The new development down there, quality living, quality housing, and a huge tract of open space where you can do all of the things I've mentioned beforehand, going from Cheltenham Parade right through to Woodville Road, opening up for the community for the first time ever the most beautiful park environment the western suburbs will have. As for the Bowden site, the most exciting residential site in Australia, we're running electrified rail as well as the tram corridor down to it. I can see that as being the second CBD. It should have commercial, should have residential, should have even some high-tech industry that is not metal bashing, but laboratories and potential white-collar R&D. I think that's going to be a truly exciting development and will really put Adelaide on the map.
And more with the Deputy Premier in the next couple of weeks. We've got some incredible footage, so stay tuned for those in the coming weeks. Now, Justin, back to the 30-year plan. Are we going to end up like Melbourne with transit routes, light rail through the whole city?
Well, that'd be a great outcome, I think, for the state, really, because it would bring some life back into the city. I believe that government's currently thinking about further expansions of the electrification of the rail network through the CBD, probably really focusing on activating the western end in the first instance. There's been a bit of talk about that over recent years, but as yet they haven't come up with the money that it's going to cost.
Now, we haven't talked yet about student accommodation. Now, that surely is factored in. What's happening in that space?
Look, well, at the moment we've got about 34,000 students living in the CBD and attending South Australian unis. The projections are that that's going to double to about 68,000 over the next 5 years. So the student accommodation sector is a massive growth opportunity for this state.
And just in terms of the plan that affect mums and dads' homes that perhaps live in the inner suburbs, does it mean that they'll suddenly be rich overnight because they can cut their blocks up?
No, not at all. There's about 80% of existing residential areas are going to be left unaffected by the plan, and so you've got 20% of areas being affected. They're largely transit corridors, and then you've got the other 80% of the growth occurring in the outer suburbs through growing the existing town centres.
And just while we're on sort of this new report and what's in it, will developers make more money? Will they be able to go to that report and identify places that are, you know, there's likely to be some money to be made?
Yeah, absolutely. The plan's got a whole lot of specific suburbs that are identified, including Mount Barker, including Murray Bridge, including Munopara Downs, Galway, Gawler, Concordia, Buckland Park, and it provides the development sector with some certainty, which is a really positive thing because they know that they're going to be investing the money in the right areas and they know that they're going to have certainty that the development's going to be acceptable.
Now, time to go behind the blinds and we'll go and have a look at some property that is built now and some gorgeous properties, and then we'll have a chat with Mark Bodycote in our second part of our series with the Public Trustee.